Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. Let's get it's hard to say this without laughing. Let's get dangerous.
That's the TC.
From Hollywood, from Las Vegas, from New York City, and this week, all the way from Mayberry, North Carolina, it's the Merv Griffith Show. Join us as Helen Crum decides to have a surprise birthday party for Gomer Pyle.
Thelma Lou expects me to ask her, but I already mentioned the party to Juanita over at the diner.
Uh-oh, 2 dates.
Merv, you gotta help me. You gotta ask Juanita so's I can take Thelma Lou to the party.
But Barney, it's Helen's party, and Helen's my girl.
Today, we've tried to take a closer look at a subject that's on the minds of many American women, the problems connected with being a battered wife. Our guest has been Mrs. Wynette Sloan, a lady who knows firsthand. And because she's come here today and told us how she deals with it, she's opened our eyes and made some helpful suggestions to the untold millions of women out there who are battered wives.
Keep it simple. Salt, pepper, butter and sage, flour, and eggs.
Next week on Who Wants to Know, we'll meet a student who buttered up his teacher. So until next week, this is Mortenham Dinner saying good night. The show's quite informative. Excuse me, Miss Sloan. Are we still in the air?
Rap artists, ventriloquists, blood has been shed, lives have been lost. Mr. Spencer, Killer Be Killed, Dingle, Professor Murder, Pickles, Mr. Barnett. What is it going to take to put an end to all this?
Why the fuck you like a bitch, Dingle? After
I'm gonna suck my 8 inches of rib!
Will you stop it?
This is Come on, guys, gentlemen, puppets, gentlemen.
I'm sorry.
Control your puppets, please.
So sorry.
Killer Be Killed, what is it going to take for people like you and Dingle to get along with the East Coast?
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, these guys got their fucking talking dolls and shit.
Questions, Professor Pickles?
What? I ain't no Professor Pickles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with the East Coast.
Look, I don't need you defending me, you howdy-doody looking motherfucker. I'm out of here, yo.
Yeah, I'm with them.
Man, step off.
Well, what happened? Oh, well, it got so that every pissant prairie punk who thought he could shoot a gun would ride into town to try out the Waco Kid. I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. Got pretty gritty. I started to hear the word draw in my sleep. And one day, I was just walking down the street, and I heard a voice behind me say, "Reach for it, mister." I spun around, and there I was, face to face with a 6-year-old kid. Well, I just threw my guns down and walked away. Little bastard shot me in the ass. So I limped to the nearest saloon, crawled inside a whiskey bottle, and I've been there ever since.
This guy's been stoned since the 3rd grade.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm registered in this class.
What class?
This is U.S. history. See the globe right there.
Really?
Hey, may I come in?
Oh, please. I get so lonely when I hear that 3rd attendance bell ring and all my kids are not here.
Sorry I'm late. It's just like this new schedule's totally confusing. Yeah, I know that, dude.
Mr. Spicoli.
That's the name they gave me. You're ripping my car.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
No problem at all. I think you know where the front office is.
You dick!
Does he sing in English or Russian?
In English. Come on, Berserker. Girls think sexy. I'll watch. Wait, he's gonna sing and watch. It's too funny.
My love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you like some making fuck berserker?
That's fucking funny, man.
Did he say making fuck?
I won't betray your trust, Bernie. I just need a break.
Now is not the time to leave me. I am still dealing with the tragic, unexpected loss of my mother.
You killed her.
But that doesn't mitigate my pain.
I took these out of every single garment in the store.
What?
They're desiccates. See, they absorb moisture. These clothes won't last 5 years without them.
That's not gonna do anything.
Patience.
All right, forget it.
What?
You have screwed me again, pennypacker.
This is where he every day wearing a necklace like this, and he's in this urn.
Is his ashes?
Yeah, his ashes right here and here. Yep. So both of my grandpas are here.
What's that other thing on the necklace?
It's a Punisher emblem.
What's that about?
I like the Punisher just because he's he takes his the law into his own hands to punish the people that wronged him.
Where's your robe, Ignacio?
It was stinky, but these are my recreation clothes.
They look expensive.
Oh, shut up,
Pee-wee.
Why don't you make me?
Why don't you make me?
Because I don't make monkeys. I just trade them.
Oh, Pee-wee, listen to reason. Oh, come on.
I'm listening to reason.
Pee-wee.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Put the damn seats back, you dumb foreigner. Come on.
Foreigner?
Yeah.
Did you say foreigner?
Yeah.
For you.
What's that mean?
Means this.
You better smile when you do that, buddy.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, pal, mull this one over.
Oh, all right. I accept your apology.
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch.
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with Hacha. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king.
Hail to the king, baby.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. To Fantastic Comics Presents. For those of you that are new here, I've got this to show you.
My name is
Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
It's a true statement. I am Yule Carter, and I do have a store in Berkeley, California. Every Wednesday to Sunday, or through Sunday, to 12 to 5 p.m. for your funny book shopping needs. Numbers on the screen. I sometimes answer the phone. Yeah, get a hold of me. Events, this is for you. Every one of you watching out there, if you want to specifically get, unless you already know how to get a hold of me, events, that's the way to do it. That's for you guys. It doesn't say Fantastic Comics Presents at fantasticcomics.net. Yeah, and we're going to talk about comic books that are going to be coming out tomorrow. And I know we just did it not too long ago, the health of the industry. I seem to do it during the State of the Union or after the State of the Union. It's Tuesday night. It always happens on a Tuesday. It gets done. I probably have watched a few minutes of it at least. And then I talk about how things are with comics. And as far as the Fantastic Comics is concerned, because my bubble is what matters to me and my community, and I can't really affect any change out there. I can only do what is desired of the people that shop at my store. And they seem to be liking buying comic books. And I said things are doing, pretty good as far as the store is concerned. We are almost prosperous, but that can fluctuate. It can fluctuate with people and their job situation, space consideration, what their desired goals is with this hobby. A lot of people don't think twice about getting rid of that mass market paperback that they read. They read it, they go through it, maybe they keep it around a little bit till the entire series is collected and then sell it off to the half price books, right? And maybe even more in between. People are always looking for a deal. But we're going to be talking about it. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Comics by Perch. It's a channel on YouTube. I've been on his channel a couple of times back in the live stream days of his. And I like him. He's got a good channel. He talks about the industry. Used to be a store owner a few times over. Moves around, has a job that forces him to leave the country many times. And he said he logged 1 million miles of travel. Really? Is that possible? Is that really possible? It seems like a big number. Nonetheless, we're going to talk about his video that came out today. And if you want to, after this show, you can go watch the video that we're going to be talking about. But I did clip it up, and we're gonna examine it, and maybe I'll have a few things to say about each of the clips, and maybe I'll change my mind as far as the store. But of course, the caveat is, I don't know what's going to happen as far as the ridiculousness that's going out in the real world outside of the store. I mean, it seems like anything can happen at any time, and almost none of it's good. But maybe I'm just consuming the wrong media. Yeah. And then we're going to talk to you guys in just a few moments. But one of the channel viewers, one of my customers of the store, was at WonderCon this weekend. and that's down in Anaheim. And he did a couple of videos that he sent me, and then I also got some cosplay pics. I told him, get me some cosplay pics, because I know you all love cosplay pics. The videos that he got were for Absolute Batman, so I'm assuming it's Scott Snyder. It's from the back, and we're going to see the crowd. They seem to be really taken with this Scott Snyder guy. And he's talking about issue 19 and I guess 20 for Absolute Batman. Check this out.
So in 20, Bruce finds out all this stuff on the roof. It's the first meeting between Bruce and Jim on the roof in 19. And it's a huge scene. It changes everything for us. Because Jim comes with this information and he's like, I don't want to show you this, but it's your whole life. There's a secret about your whole life. And Bruce can't deal with it, and so he goes to see Joe Chill in 20 and talk to him about stuff. And then out of the darkness, the Scarecrow just sits up in the bed next to Joe Chill and in the bunk below, and the bars separate them and Batman. He can't get to him, and he's just like, oh, Batman. And he's so scary. It's just everything about him terrifies me, and I just love him. Because he's like, oh, in that scene at the beginning with those guys, he's like, maybe this isn't a mask. And you never know. Is it a mask? Is it his face? Is he telling the truth? Is he not? He probably is, but like, you don't know. Like, that's what's so scary about him. But he'll also kill you. At the end, it doesn't care. So Scarecrow is awesome. Deathstroke is in this.
Awesome. Sounds great. I'm not really reading Absolute Batman, but I know all of you guys are. You guys and gals out there are totally buying a ton of Absolute Batman. I want to get this. Why did StreamYard? I shouldn't be doing this on air, but did they screw around with stuff? Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's my fault. Seems like something. I thought it was on earlier. For those of you that haven't done it, think about liking and subscribing to the channel. Also hit the bell for notifications so you can get that 30-minute warning bell that we're going to be going live. So there you go. You got Scott Snyder. So when he was putting out trees for Image Comics, he had already done Batman. Before that, he was at Image and he was doing some vampire book. Can't remember what it's called, but it was really good. And oh yeah, American Vampire also I think was coming out. He was doing that with Stephen King at the time, maybe a little bit before that. Anyhow, he called my store and he was like, I answered it, it's Tuesday night and we're putting comics out for the next day. This was at the old location, like in the video. And he calls and everybody's like still working. There's usually some hanging out with beers and whatnot going on. And I'm just like in the back talking to Scott Snyder on the phone. And he was like really happy with he's like, dude, you guys bought a lot of trees. And I'm like, well, your stuff sells pretty well. And, just because it's not Batman or mainstream books doesn't mean we can't sell something of quality in the store. And he's all, it doesn't hurt the jocks doing the art also. And he just talked to me for like an hour. I think it might've been maybe 45 minutes. And at the end, he's like, was there anything you wanted to, maybe say or anything? And, or ask me. And I said, well, not unless you got like some spoilers for like Batman, I can tell people. And he's all, well, I'll tell you. And then he told me whatever issue number was going to be a big whoop, and that was cool. Anyway, Scott Snyder's a cool dude. And I got another video. It's a little bit longer, but he's going to be talking about the Scarecrow and how he comes to like write the character. He puts a little bit of effort into letting you know what his craft is all about.
And when I was writing about myself on Batman, which is the way you kind of write it, right? Where you're like, what are my biggest fears? It was always about that. So it was hard to kind of purify that. But then writing about Absolute Batman is written for my kids. Like, I'm Alfred, I'm watching, from the sidelines, and I'm inspired by young people out there who really feel like we refuse to accept the world that you old guys gave us, and we're going to make it better, even if we have to burn it down to change it. And so in that way, for me, Scarecrow is way easier to imagine as the terror that I see them facing, right? And so in this one, he just walks out of the cornfield on the first page. It's my favorite thing. He's just barefoot in like a country suit, and he walks out, and these guys driving a thresher, doing the, you know, I'm not a farmer, like cutting the corn, are just like, they're just like, what the hell? And they come up and they're like, there it is. And they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, I'm just going for a walk. And he's barefoot. And they're just like, you know, oh, look at his face, man. And the other guy's like, fuck, he probably just got that cheap mask over at the party store or whatever. And he's like, that's right, you got me. It's just a cheap mask that I got on, you know? And then they're like, well, you know, you got to get out of here, da-da-da. And he's like, look, we're all friends here. You guys have been friends 30 years, Buck and Vern, except that, Buck, you're screwing his wife when he's not there. And they're like, what? And then, you know, Vern's like, how could you say that? It's like, bing. And then you look, like, he sends the video to Buck. And you don't know, Scarecrow just knows everything about you. You don't want him to know. And you don't know if it's because he researched you and his mask is digital, or if he's just like a crazy fucking serial killer. Like, what I love about him is that what's terrifying to me is when having, look, not to get on the couch, but like as somebody who has dealt with depression and anxiety, the most terrifying thing to me is when you don't trust your own mind anymore, and it's telling you things and you don't know what's true, and you just lose track. And I think that as a society, we fall victim to that a lot of these days, where you kind of lose like sense of what is real or true. And Grok, is that real? Like all day long, you know? And so
boy, they were just eating that up. Not to get on the couch or anything like that. Yeah, I know. He probably, everything I write is shit. I can't tell a story to save my life. Yeah, that kind of stuff probably. And yet he gets it done anyway. Most of it is just getting it done. So I want to thank Battle Buddy for doing that for us, but also for the cosplay. First up, we've got, how's this picture going to look? It's going to take me over there. Ghost Rider. All right. That looks cool. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, it's cool. I'd be interested if that glowed in the dark. That'd be pretty sweet. Some elements of that. What do we got next? We've got, I don't know who the hell that's supposed to be. Anyway, that's what we got. I know I've been losing comic book credentials all weekend long. So sorry. And then Ileana. Yeah, excellent. I love the big sword. That was probably one of the coolest things that got implemented into the character. I mean, she always had a sword. She also had like hooves also, if I'm not mistaken. And but the big sword, when I think it was Bachala that did the sword big the first time, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was Philip Tan. But yeah, when she got that was a big deal. I thought, good move for sure. Thank you, Battle Buddy, for the cosplay picks. That's it. I mean, maybe I'll get more. Maybe I'll be getting more right now. All right. Why don't I say to each and every one of you,
we didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Penny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
hello, everybody. welcome to the show. Thanks for commenting. This takes a moment. We got a couple of long ones. You know, I am not here to borrow any money, but if you are so inclined, we do have a super chat feature. Ain't no big deal. I'm going to read your messages anyway. Sometimes I scan over them. Erica Sullivan was first. I literally fear for my LCS's future. New England Comics, once a Massachusetts chain store, several stores big since about COVID, has shrunk to 2. A few stores closed outright and the others were bought by their managers. I'm not sure if the original owner still owns the tick license to sell out, yet the new owners are a decade older than me, so when they want to retire, I think this could be the end of the cycle. I'm not sure if my LCS has any more chances. Rents are befuddling, and the offerings are dwindling in quality and return on investment. Thank you for fantastic comics. Fuel the American dream, Gizmo. Yeah. Well, store's going to have a life, right? Cheers. And it's usually the life of the owner. I was looking for a clip for another Massachusetts store owner, Larry. I was on a show with him during COVID, and he was like, "You're a good fucking dude, you'll people come in for you," that type of thing. And for the longest time, when I first owned the store in the bigger space, I was kind of just, let's get this thing going the way it needs to go, and just like chugging along like a normal person. And if I would have had that conversation with him then, it might have changed a lot of things. Maybe not for the better. Nonetheless, I'm not looking for accolades necessarily. But I am the driving force in the store. People come in, I talk to them, I give them just facilitating them getting what they want. That's a thing I do. It doesn't have to be anything bigger than that. It's no lofty expectation, but people come, people talk. It's the old store was the same way, just in a different way. But people would come in, and I wanted to encourage possibly strangers talking to each other. And the store was open, and like people would be standing next to each other while they were looking for books within the same section, even though they weren't necessarily books that, if you separated them in different sections, you wouldn't see them ever next to each other. And I wanted like the inclusiveness of the entirety of the store. Now, necessity back then forced me to have a children's section, a manga section, some other things. But overall, it was still, Spidey was right next to Sandman, and that's right next to, something from Image, we'll say. Saga, let's say. Continuum. Yo, the end of the comic store? You never know what the future holds. We all thought bookstores would die out, but Barnes & Noble embraced a new model. I think comic book stores will make a comeback due to nostalgia and backlash against modernity and digital everything. For sure. Records, vinyl, it was $1 billion industry last year. That's wild. That's great to know, because as people are realizing that they can't make as much money, it takes a ton of Spotify views or whatever, listens, to equate, to make any money. It's good for a platform so that people can know you, but when you're really making money is when people are actually purchasing things from you. And we will be getting into that. Lifted lore. Comic stores have always been dying. I guess I don't need to do anymore. The industry is always on its last legs. For sure. Not spoiler. Not near mint. Been waiting all week for this. I cannot imagine why anybody would. I dread this. In the other room, Jill B. Pill. Hello. Uncanny Spider Guy. I thought you wanted to watch the Dodger game. Did you see the Supergirl trailer? No, I haven't. In fact, this whole episode I was going to be doing a Spider-Man trailer. I know, late. But we were going to talk about going to see that as a store. But now that we're talking about Supergirl, well, I'll wait maybe to do something for it next week. And I think really that should be the store's movie that we go see is Supergirl, because it was a hit in the store. It still is. I mean, compact and deluxe in formerly issue form. This was like a really, really strong book. And I never read an issue. So this would be a perfect thing for me to go see. All right. We can get Yule's live reaction. I mean, we could do that. I've never really done that before in that way. Dummy. Hey, Yule. Hey, all. Hey, Yule. Hey, all. Comic books, the industry that's been dying since 1919. For sure. All right. Thank you, everybody. If you just, we'll get back to you in a little bit, but I'm going to run some of these videos. Let me see. I did get rid of those. Man, I'm really up on my work here. I can't hold all of it on the StreamYard at the same time. I don't think there's any amount of money that's going to make a difference there. So when I run these videos, if I'm bringing one up, it might give it a little hiccup or something like that. Okay. So I did a ton of clips. I didn't want these to be too long, but Perch's video was over 20 minutes. I know you guys can handle that kind of length. And not only that, but Perch is, he can repeat himself a few times, maybe for effect. And he has a certain style that he puts on but if you don't know him, you're going to get to know him. I highly recommend Comics by Perch. When I used to run a scroll with my favorite channels, it was always on there. Eric O'Sullivan's also, but he doesn't do as much, and I don't give a shit about hockey. So I don't give a shit about hockey. You might as well talk about a college team. You know what I mean? How about Duke, everybody? Ouch. Was it Duke that lost? Anyway. Okay. So I have a Seinfeld video I'm gonna play before the song.
Hey, Jerry, you know that shoe repair place at the end of the block? Well, if they don't get some business, they're going to have to shut down and make way for one of those gourmet coffee or cookie stores.
I like coffee.
I like cookies. Yeah, of course you do. And you know why? Because you're a bunch of yuppies. No, it's your go-go corporate takeover lifestyles that are driving out these mom-and-pop stores and destroying the fabric of this neighborhood.
I just have to use that anytime I can. Was that going to actually be last week? All right, so to start off, Perch has a pre-qualifier to start this video.
This video, I'm going to get into comic book store closures and the state of the business. And it's a kind of video where I feel like the answers I give will be unsatisfactory.
We had this, we Dodger fans had to suffer with Jim Tracy as the manager. And the joke was that he would be like, did we play bad defense? You could say we did, and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like wishy-washy. And I'm not calling Perch wishy-washy because I'm that way. But that was nigh wishy-washy. But but I totally agree, because everybody has their own perspective. My perspective is, well, we'll get into it. All right, first up.
Well, it continues to happen. This time, the biggest comic shop in our city just posted the dreaded but expected notice that they are likely going out of business. I miss your older deep dive into the comic shop business. Now that you announced your investment back into local shops, I wonder if you would comment on how the economy is affecting comics on the local level. Would low overhead type of shop be better? And the person here posted the sign or the GIF. I'm guessing this was on Facebook. I don't know. Important update from our shop. After much consideration, we will be discontinuing the sale of new comics and will no longer be accepting new Pullbox subscriptions effective immediately. All existing Pullbox subscribers will continue to receive their books already on their list through the 3/23/26 March 23 final order cutoff. So now, and those orders will be fully honored. You can still pick up your books as usual during the transition. To help make things easier, we're happy to provide a detailed printed list of your current subscriptions, so you can transfer your poll box to your preferred comic shop and make it to the next final order cutoff without interruption. But by the way, just as an aside, it's class act from a store. When you're facing this kind of problem, going out of your way to make sure your customers have a bridge to a place where they're going to spend money that isn't you. That's tip of the hat. That's the right thing to do. Not an easy thing to do, not an expected thing to do, not a required thing to do, but the right thing to do. Anyway, we'll finish this out. Says, thank you for your continued support. All current Pullbox subscribers will receive 30% off, their books as we work to the remaining inventory we'll be receiving. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and truly appreciate your support and understanding. If you have any questions, please reach out. We're here to help.
And the thing when I hear that immediately, the first thing I think is I never get, well, all right, there have been a couple times, but I don't get inundated with any long letters that I can make videos on or have subjects or things to talk about on this show. I don't go on X no more. I barely go on Instagram. Facebook, I don't like it, but there's a comic shop group on there, so I have to get on every once in a while to figure out something. But damn. Anyway, I know most of them are all the same. I'm sure he's parsing through them. That store was having problems on my birthday also, and I don't think it was Torpedo Comics. Or maybe Torpedo was the one I think I read someone say it was. I was thinking of Silver Sprocket. It's close enough. But yeah, I don't get no letters. I don't get no show ideas. There's been a few times and I've dropped the ball, but I think it was just Elithidlore. Not just Elithidlore. It was only Elithidlore, is what I'm saying. So that's the letter. That sucks, man. Comic stores, but I think as long as you're going to stay open for any length of time, doing those people the solid is totally okay. What I don't understand is if you're going to be open past those days, because it said we won't be carrying new comics anymore. People, I mean, this is a thing that a lot of people might not know about. But when people owned comic stores and it was just Diamond distributing everything, they needed a storefront initially. But if you stopped being a store in a storefront and you ran it from your home, you could be a local hub for like a group of however many people. Perch is going to say in a little bit, you need to keep the store going. And those people reap the reward of being able to pay a lot less for everything also and make sure they get everything they want. Pretty cool idea. Anyhow, I don't understand, if you're going to be a store and you're going to carry comic books of any type, why you can't just get pull customer, put books pulled aside. I mean, that's for sure money. And if you're ordering from Penguin Random House, the discount isn't that great, but the shipping is free. And there's really no reason why you shouldn't. I just don't understand. And even with shipping, you got to pay shipping every once in a while for things. I mean, it's just the way it is. And coming to the comic store and being able to have a couple extra things, I think, I don't know. I would assume accounts are probably getting canceled, but that doesn't really there's no conversation about that. Here's Purchase thesis.
I don't care how many people gaslight you about how the comic industry is doing amazing. It is not. Are there comics that are doing well? Fine. But stop conflating the fact that a couple of comics or some comics are on the upswing or a good read, because you're absolutely right. They are. But stop conflating that with a healthy industry, because they are not the same.
He uses the word conflate a lot. So I've cut it out. This is like the word that, like, if I'm slamming him about stuff like that, this is the only time it will be made mentioned. But I will tell you, it is nice when you edit your words. So, like, nobody, you don't realize that you take a breath in and it's a whole video. And when you cut it, you can, there's no stammering or anything like that. There's no UL Live type stuff going on. I did him a solid by all of these videos. I want you to know that. So Perch is like, shit ain't good. Shit is bad. There's one or two really good things. Can anybody name any of those one or two things? I mean, we just did a video on Absolute Batman. But again, most comic stores are run pretty close to, I have no employees. I have one helper on Wednesday. And man, it'd be nice to have an employee so that I could take a day off. But it's not time for that yet. I don't feel that it's time for that yet, because we've already established that it's important that I'm in the store. And if I'm not in the store, then what is the store, right? I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But when you get a large location, you got to staff it up, and you can't be there all the time anyway. Eventually, you're going to get a kidney stone or something. I can suffer through. Okay, so Perch has something that most comic stores probably don't appreciate him saying here. This is a little Penn and Teller type thing.
Fact is a fact. The comic book industry, and this is coming from a retailer who sold comics, we survive on you, the customer, buying 10 to 15 books a month. 10 to 15, not 4. That's the magic number we need.
All right, firstly, in the comments, let me know if you buy more than 15 a month. Because 15, I mean, really, it's 15 a week is what I want to see. And often I do. I mean, my goodness, last week was amazing. And I don't know. I think Perch is, I think he might be a little incorrect, because I'm seeing a very healthy comic book buying experience in my store within my customers. Now, if my customers lost their jobs or died or moved away or some other one, I had a really great customer and he got his storage locker robbed. Never. Here's your lesson to you. If you're going to have all your comic books in boxes all neatly stored away, never put Amazing Spider-Man in A's. Okay, never. Always put Spider-Man, Amazing, Spectacular, Web under S. Okay. Never put your Amazing Spider-Man in A. Okay. Force them to steal everything. Because if they only go halfway, you're going to still have your Spideys. You know what I mean? He doesn't buy as many comic books anymore. And he buys even less after the second time he got robbed. And that was when it was like writings and stuff like that, and important books that weren't just comic books, and then some comic books. My common law brother-in-law would buy comic books and probably would still be buying comic books. He's a lifer, or at least was, until he got all his shit stolen, all his Hulks, anything with Hulk in it, anything with Ben Grimm in it. I mean, he had a lot. But he still had his toys, so, you know. And now that he has kids, he has even more toys. This is not a good comment at all. He's all digital now. Yeah, that's right. He's all digital now. But that day, the EMP, is that right? Electromagnetic pulse. The day that when the Iranians hit us, where's your digital comics then? Huh? You know, I can still burn mine. You can't burn digital comics for fire. To make a fire. What good is it then? All right. So the magic number is 10 to 15 comics. But he is talking, I think he's talking about all customers, and there's just no way. Or maybe it is. But if you're only getting absolute books, you're getting absolute Batman, absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Flash, absolute Green Lantern, and Superman. So 5 Martian Manhunter, 6. That's ending. Get some Catwoman and some Green Arrow action. I'm not even getting 10 out of you. What I need is you to be so in love with this that you would jump to any other Scott Snyder book. Or made the jump over to DCKO and also over to the to the DC universe, but especially Superman and Justice League. You know, at least reading those, and then I can get you up to the 15. And I think Perch is right. I don't get everybody to get all of that stuff, but once again, I know the numbers of what I want to buy, and if I buy straight up and then I still need more later on, this is a good problem to have. And it is a problem I'm having with almost all of the absolute books. Even in the piddly Flash numbers or the Green Lantern numbers, they're still better than most Image books, or Image books I would have wanted to purchase would have still been at smaller numbers. Some things that I want to purchase, and we'll see some books later on, I got in higher numbers in hopes that I could excite some people to, you know, half of the people to get them. But you know, you're going to be sitting on a lot of stuff. It's just the way it is. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice for someone to get 10 to 15 books a month, but it'd be nicer if you got all the books. All right. How much is it? How much is it to get all of these books?
It means $50 to $75 before tax a month. And for some of you, that is piss money, and you can easily do it. And some of you are buying your Starbucks every morning and, you know, everything else. For some of you, that is a low number. But again, as somebody who sold comics for decades, that is not a sustainable number.
Well, if you know that it's not a sustainable number, it's always been that way, right? That's the one thing I would say, as far as that's concerned. The joke was that comics have been dying since 1991 or 1919 or whatever the fuck. The minute The minute the whole, superhero comics are kind of gay. I'm sure that was a bad time for comics, compared to how it was prior to that. Or the all the stuff. Can't do the eye stuff, no more horror, and things were really popping at the time. Comics were selling way more when it was for romance, teen romance type books. There wasn't superhero books like we have it today, but there was always Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. Well, always, since the beginning of time. That's a lot of money, but those are not. I mean, Perch and other videos, and even like within the videos that I was on, the live streams, the conversation always occurs about whales, and these are the people that are kind of keeping the store afloat. And it's like, yeah, I mean, this is me being defensive about that. Yeah, I'm making a lot of money off of you, but I would not have spent a lot of money so that I can make it off you if, otherwise. It would just, things would adjust, is all I'm saying. And I'm always flabbergasted by what y'all buy, but those are the customers that are kind of like, they allow you all to not get 15 a month. So you should thank them. And if you want a list of who they are, you come on into the store and I'll let you know so you can thank them. We'll get them a thank you for being our customer card. Spider guy, maybe you can draw that one up and we can print them up. We all know Spider Guy is one of them. All right. Perch has to say it one more time.
It is not a healthy business. Period. We're all proud about the success of a couple comic books. And I'm glad that some people on TikTok have fun videos talking about comics. And I'm glad there is enthusiasm for some of these characters because of the movies. And I'm glad that, Joe Quesada went down to his local comic shop and they greeted him warmly and said business is great. Cool. But anyone with any ounce of business sense who is not a complete and absolute liar knows things aren't going great. One quick visit to any Metro comic shop will tell you that.
I have sold in my store more, obviously, in the larger location. Almost 150 copies of a book called Day Tripper. And I want you guys to think about all the comic books. 150, I think, in collected form. Just to let you know, that's like a 20. It's anywhere from $25 to $35. And I have sold a lot of those books. If I told you about the numbers of Saga that I have sold in my store, and of course, the caveat is that the larger location, I sold way more. But it's still, a really high seller in my store. Maybe not in trade as much as something that's really super hot, like an absolute Batman. But the steadiness of it, the monstruses of the world, these are things that I have depended on people coming in and buying in my store. And I've made a lot of money after those books came out. And it's like there's an ecosystem in comic books, and I don't think a lot of people realize it. You buy the comic books and you enjoy the comic books. And then you do with them what you will. And some people put them away. Some people leave them out so they can like rummage through them again. Maybe there's a reason artistically you wanted to keep it out and maybe draw on it. I don't know. some people just throw the damn thing away. To me, it was, oh, I want to keep them. And I want to be able to, I don't know why I wanted to ever have multiple copies. That was kind of like a parental thing that was going on. But we have them now, and I'm able to sell them to you. And I still have them. And even though I don't sell them all the time, these are things that I love and I want to share with people. Not unlike Day Tripper, and not unlike all the other books that people don't know about. And the thing is that there are other avenues within a comic book industry to sell to people. And if they come in the store, I mean, that's really the main thing. Are they coming in the store? Can you get them to come in the store? And what is doing that? And I think these are examples of what is kind of like doing us in.
The very moves the business is making will tell you that. The way Final Order Cutoff has evolved will tell you that. The fact that you have a creator, the Dan Slott coming on to beg for pre-orders because otherwise the series will be canceled for Spider-Man, titled the same as a major motion picture this year, is alarming. But it's not just alarming for Marvel. And this is the stuff that I just drives me crazy because, like, well, it's Dan Slott, and that was Marvel, and that was Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, Marvel has some issues, but everybody else is doing great. Fuck, no, they are not.
Perch talks to people within the companies. I do not. When I would be on Wes's show, he would be like, "Oh, you must obviously know about this, this, and this." And I'm like, "I'm just fucking ordering this stuff. I'm reading it. I'm hearing people talk about it, but I'm not doing any investigating, and I'm definitely not talking to anybody. Nobody ever talks to me. Joe Casey talks to me. When he came in the store, he told us, anybody that was around at the time, about the way Weapon X-Men, how the sales go. And if you don't have enough sales by a certain time period, they're only okaying it to be a 5th issue. And unless something really spectacular happens, it's not going to continue. We saw Absolute Martian Manhunter do so well that they extended it another 6 issues over at DC. DC is more willing to do things like that. Marvel, if they're going to do a long series and then end it, they'll go like 10 issues, Can't even go the full year. Can't even get an annual out of it. But that's Marvel. They're kind of that way right now. And it is the way it is. But I don't know. Some of those, he's talking about FOC. I don't think FOC is that bad. It's been fine. The only thing that's really different is that I have to go to different companies to complete the order. Jill can tell you. There I am in the bathroom in the middle of the, like 10 o'clock. Maybe thinking about going to bed a little early. Got a busy day tomorrow. And there, I got to get ready for the show. This is on Monday. And there I am sitting. And I'm like, holy shit. No reason to stay here any longer. I fucked up and didn't finish my order. And oh my God, I come in the office and sure enough, I haven't finished my order. So it is a bad thing. I mean, you're not sure you're going to get everything. You're definitely not getting any of the incentive covers. It's like right when you're at your most, I'm ready to go to bed. And then you have to get up and then you're all riled and it's the worst thing possible. But, for the most part, you all don't give a shit about FOCs. It's up to us as comic store owners and comic store employees. And, we're going to rally the troops here. This is your time to share yourself through comic books, who you are. Think about how it used to be when someone would come over to your house and you had the record collection. And then that person was really into records. And then they would be like flipping through it. And it's like, wow, we can really make a connection because of this one shitty album that nobody else gives a fuck about. or comic books. You're your friends, and I'm reading my friends' comic books because that's just the way it was back in the day. And here's the few that I purchased because I'm cheaper than all of you. They were the 15 comics a month kind of people, but it was, of course, 30 comics a week. How comic sales work?
It is a business that relies on not a one-time purchase, but a monthly purchase, and a monthly purchase with volume. Because when you are purchasing the comics month after month after month with volume, you're creating stability to your business channel. And when you're creating stability to your business channel, the person who is selling it can expand, buy more comics, pay the rent and the electricity. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Even when I was selling the most day trippers possible in the largest location you could imagine at the time, I was paying so much for that to do it. And we weren't an online store, but we were starting to get into online sales. And I realized we are paring down so much that we got to become insular and then spread out, right? And then it was just crashing in on us, and then COVID happened, and RIP to all the people we lost, but it was a boon. It was a boon for me, boondoggle for many, but it allowed me to get back into this situation. And even though there was a lot of screw ups since then, it still led me in the right path. So yay, COVID. These are the ways the comic sales work. It allows us to do these things, and I appreciate every single one of you all out there, because this show is for my customers, and it's for anybody that's a customer of a store, for sure. If you don't shop at Fantastic Comics, where do you shop? Just don't say Cape and Cow. It doesn't matter. Perch, what are the reasons for this?
The problem with comics are there's not a compelling reason to buy them in the volumes necessary for comic book businesses to survive, which is 10 to 15, period. Now, is that reason because of bad writing, bad art, too expensive? Yes, is the answer. A little bit of all of those.
Now, he's going to go back on what he said in just a few moments, but for some people, these are true statements. But possibly for those people, it was always going to be that case for comic books. A lot of people get into them at a certain age, and then they are like, "Hey, I've grown up. I got to read technical manuals or something like that. I've got a reality show to watch instead." But a literature, which I enjoy also. I'm reading Confederacy of Dunces right now, and a few other books. Ugh, what have I gotten myself into? But that doesn't mean I don't love comic books. And in my comic store, it is 98% comic books. What does Perch have to say about that?
It's a nice shop. Looks great. The comics are an afterthought. They're there, but it's the part that clearly has the least care. And I know this is a little bit subjective, but you can tell what the energy and momentum in a shop is by where the staff, the employees, the owner are putting their time. In this case, they put their time into tabletop games, having the racks there for that, some merch and t-shirts and stuff along those lines. That's where the time had been put. The comics were on one wall in one back corner, and while it was an impressive wall, it was tucked away.
Earlier in the show, somebody, I don't know if it was Eric O'Sullivan or Fantinuum or Lithalore, but somebody said something about price of rent. And again, you're just paying for the honor to be able to sell more at this other place, but taxes are more. You have to have more employees. there's more chance for theft. And you do have to have things that aren't comic books. You have to, I mean, I almost always kept everything comic related. So even if I did have pop vinyls, it was a comic book character, like the Miles Morales or something like that. And even then, I didn't go too crazy on them. But you know, we had posters, we had t-shirts, we had things. But still, for the most part, if you count graphic novels or trade paperbacks or whatever you call it, and you count zines and small press and local comics and mainstream comics and independent comics, that was still, for the most part, you know, 75% of my store. You know, we did really well with novels. That was during the Hunger Games and Game of Thrones being on HBO for the first season. We were just selling mad numbers of that stuff, but we were also really big fans of that type of thing. Well, I don't know about the Hunger Games, but we had some employees. You do have to have those other things because the mom brings her kids into the store and there has to be something that she might want to flip through. And if she flips through something, then you might be able to, like, you know, hook her too. And once you hook a lady, she might come back again, you know, especially if her kids are happy. And it's kind of like, you know, you need to have those types of things, and that's where like the buttons come in and the trading cards and stuff like that. And if those things aren't really available, which they were for the most part because of Diamond, because they were all inclusive when it came to that garbage. Penguin Random House doesn't care about Fleer cards or anything like that. But they did give us posters, and Lunar and DC still don't, or DC through Lunar still don't. That's my little rant. Okay, so we went through that, reasons. Okay, LCS and games. I will not do games. I do have Magic the Gathering. I am a fan again of Magic the Gathering, and I have enough customers, but it's like a box. And the only time I've really gone hardcore recently, and I kind of got screwed by my distributor, was for the Spider-Man cards. And it's comic book related. You know, it's just like I told you about the pop vinyls. It's comic book related. If it's an action figure, it's comic book related. And that type of thing. But I don't think, you know, having a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff is really the way to go. But I do have a small all ages section, and there are Jim Zub written Dungeons and Dragons type books. And of course, there's the comic book. So it still plays in, you know, if I wanted to like fudge those rules just a bit. And I am the owner. So, you know, I do get to do that. Now, this is titled Do Kids Care?
And maybe most alarmingly, and maybe this is my eye because I was a retailer, most alarmingly is the fact that parents are walking in with small children and they are not going into the comic area. They are heading to buy t-shirts and plushies and little models and other things, and they are no interest.
This Sunday, a car pulled up, and so I have some people that come and hang out in the middle of the day. One is a good older customer of mine, one of those 15 to 20 comics a month guys or more. He came in, he comes in, we have a little whiskey, a little adult beverage, if you will, in the middle of the day. And it was a nice day. I mean, it was warm, but not too warm like it had been the previous days. And although it was sunny, there was enough cloud coverage, it wasn't that bad. It's wonderful in Berkeley when the weather's wonderful. And even when it's too warm, it's wonderful. We're all just hanging out. Car pulls up front. You pay attention when a car pulls up right in front of you where you're sitting, you know, on the sidewalk. They're not on the sidewalk. And then another car pulls up a little bit farther up ahead because this one got the closer spot. And outcome of one car, two little girls, less than 10. And the other car has a couple other little girls, and then the fathers come out. One has a knee brace. And I don't think the fathers really give a shit about comics at all, but these girls are running back and forth, and I've never seen them before. And it was quite the scene. They were loud and very, very excited. And they came in, they were looking at the new shelves. And I let them know about the spinner rack where there's some all ages stuff like Powerpuff Girls and Sonic, and Archie, and then facsimiles of older comics that are probably kid safe if they like the superhero aspect. And then the manga, and then the all ages, which is right next to the dog. And of course, that was a big deal. And there were twins, and one got a Raina Telgemeier book, and the other got a Creep Show comic book. And the father said, "Yeah, they're twins, but they're polar opposites." And I'm like, I thought they were always supposed to be like totally in sync. That's some crazy stuff. And the other one's like, "Yeah," or the other one's like, "Yeah, she likes the bloody stuff," or something like that. So there you go. And then the other girls got some stuff. One mainstreamy and one Garfield. Garfield, go figure. I buy from the public every now and then. Those are the Garfield books I have. If you don't have t-shirts and other shenanigans and just comic books, they can't buy those other things. Now, you have to believe in your product, I think, just a little bit, I would suggest. And on top of it, I've always heard that a good salesperson could sell ice to an Eskimo. That's where you separate yourself from, the other employees. That's how you make a commission, right? I don't give commissions, but I do. Actually, that's not true. I used to say, all right, if we can sell this book, well, I'll give you credit in the store. There's going to be something Perch is going to say in just a moment that's just shocking to hear. Oh no, he said it earlier. It was where the comic store said that they were going to give 30% off to the customers, and and Perch kind of goes, "Ugh," like that. And the 30%, just to let you know, is what I give store employees. So me, that's it. And I don't even give myself more than that. Anyway, I think kids can care. Free Comic Book Day is coming up. It would be a shame for a store to still be open. I mean, if you're selling so much other stuff, then are you a comic store? And then if you stop buying new comics, are you a comic store? I mean, you have to really self-assess what you are and who you are. I mean, I always knew that if I right across the street from a yoga studio sold yoga mats, I could probably make some good money, but I'm not a yoga mat store. You know what I mean? Now, if I could have figured out a way to get a Spider-Man yoga mat, now we're talking turkey. Please, some X-Men. And when I say X-Men, I mean them X-women, because people like the X-women. Storm, please. But I'm not a comic store if I'm selling all this other stuff. And kids come in, if they don't want comic books, they're going to leave right away. Nobody comes in a comic store because they don't want comics. You just got to help them out. And the only thing that's hard is when someone asks me what my favorite book is. And so I'm like, oh man, this is really a hard thing to talk about. Anyway, critiquing the critiquers.
Unfortunately, that statement is the statement of the anti-woke, the statement of the grumpy old man, the statement of the people who hate comics. Clearly, because if I'm saying, hey, the comic industry isn't healthy, it clearly must mean I hate comics. Yeah, I am motivated to get the comic industry healthy, you dipshits, because I love comics.
That I do believe. I mean, I don't think it's even in question whether or not Perch is a fan of comics. He's making his own comic and it's going to come out. I wonder if maybe like the delays that have occurred maybe have also played a little bit of a part of that, like when you see how the sausage is made, and he already knew how most of it was made, and now he's getting this book out, it might also affect you in that way just a little bit more. Plus he has friends in the business and he hears about this shit, and it's like when you're more invested in it, it's hard. I mean, I'm invested in it. I am as invested in it. People around me are invested in it. All my customers are invested in it. The 15 to 20 a monthers. Fuck the fivers. But no, you got to at least carry your fucking weight in my store. You're not even worth the paper printed on this. Yeah. I'm just joking, obviously. There are people that, it's funny because like in politics, if you say anything bad about the administration right now, you're branded some sort of traitor. Nobody can have a interesting point of view from I mean, it's often that way regardless of party in power, but some are a little bit more eloquent when it comes to how they're disagreeing with the person stating the obvious. And maybe it's not the obvious. Maybe it's just a question. How can you not be patriotic? I often play that Boston legal clip. How can you try this in a time of war? It's unpatriotic. It's unpatriotic to say something bad about the industry. It's got a problem. I don't know what the problems are, but I think there's some really good comics within my store, and that's the only thing I can really control. I mean, you all that own stores maybe are the problem, if you can't figure it out. Maybe your willingness to make a fucking buck all the time off anything other than comic books is the problem. This is me thinking out loud. This is just riffing right here. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you don't read the shit that you're peddling. I can't read everything. How many of you only are out there and you only read a little bit of the thing and that's it? I've read every Spider-Man. Amazing, that is. Don't worry that. We'll get into that in a second. Last one. Quality versus sales.
They mix up, are the comic stories getting better? Are the comics getting better? And the answer is yes, they are, actually. They are. They're mixing that up with, so therefore, the business must be healthy. It is not. Those are two different things. We don't have the amount of volume of comics being sold. We have a lot of comics being read online for free. We have people talking about comics on social media. But the vast consumer base is not paying the dollar amount to make this business healthy. It is not healthy.
That's the truth. I mean, it could be a whole lot better. I always say for my small ass little store, maybe 12 more customers would be perfect. 12 more customers. And I'm not even talking about the 12 to 15 comics a month, situation. Just 12 more customers. Maybe just a trade a week. And that's the thing, there's other ways to spend money in a comic store that isn't just buying comic books. Why, you could find out that they have a Patreon page, like that QR code will take you to, or the link in the comments down below, because you could give me money, but you want it to be seen. You want people to know that you put something down for fantastic comics.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos! 650 your change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Sì!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patron...
So yeah, Patreon. I always have a problem locating these videos. You think it'd be easy, but not. Especially when you're drinking a little. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. We're going to be talking about some new comics in just a little bit. Thanks to Perch for making a really awesome video so that we could talk about stores and whether or not they're dying or not. I think it's the willingness of the store to push the product. The desire to get so many outside influences so that you can make a buck prevents you from selling the thing that you want to be open selling. And I pride my store on the fact that I do not sell a shit ton of other stuff. I like comic book magazines. My art books are just comic book related art books. I don't have like, fine art stuff. It's a different type of store. But I do have some novels because, I want there to be something to me in there also that isn't just every comic book. And that's kind of how I feel when it comes to that stuff. But again, it does not take up the majority of the space. It is DC Compacts. It's Marvel Classic Premiere or whatever it's called. It's Marvel Epic Editions. It's DC, monthly books, trade paperbacks, Image comic books, Oni comic books if it has to be, Mad Cave, just less things with guns, please. But it's not even really that bad these days, so I'm really not complaining about it. I mean, the stories, all the time there are horrible Marvel comics. All the time there are horrible DC comics. In fact, because of the artwork being so good, possibly because of digital aspects, it might be the best time for comics once again. But there is no QVC. The internet's a heavier problem when it comes to getting people to want to read analog stuff. But the kids are out there. They're buying those cassette tapes, everybody. The mass market paperback might be going away. I mean, it sounds like that's the case. But there's still books out there, and it doesn't have to be on a Kindle. And I don't know. We might not be able to power shit up in the future, It might be really bad, but you can still read comics in the middle of the day. Whew, my goodness gracious. All right, Wednesday.
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right, the calendar's full of them. Let me just get the last of these picks up. That is 21 to... Oh, you know what? I also want to tell you about two really, really, really good comics that I read recently. Both by Marvel, if you can believe it. The first one is Alias by Sam Humphries, and I'm not sure which Borges this is, but it was really, really nice art. It was dark, but good. And the story was excellent. It involved Luke Cage. There was real tension between the married couple and also the mayor and his private eye, who is being prevented from trying to look into this murder of a apartment. Well, not a neighbor in the apartment. Really, really good book. Highly recommend it. I got reprints, not reprints. I got variant covers not this David Mack cover. They're in the store now. Sentry #1. I was talking kind of hella shit on this book. Paul Jenkins knocked it out of the park. He told a really, really great story. The art was really solid. It wasn't the Rosado I thought it was, but still was really cool. Really sad stuff with the dog, though. Not a fan of that. But at least it's still around. All right. Let's put that banner back up real quick. NCBD 4/1/26. That's April Fool's Day tomorrow. We're going to be sending off the show with a little sad, on a sad note in a moment. But let's check this stuff out first. Let's think good thoughts right now. First up, we have World's Finest #50. You know what I say about centennial issues 25, 50, 75, and 100. This is Mark Wade, and I'm sure a bevy of illustrators working on it. It's oversized, and it's only $5. So shut your mouth. It's good. And there's also a Frank Whiteley cover. And you know, I love my Frank Whiteley. Let me show you this. See that? When they did these plastic, which Batman is that? Who's in the cape and cowl there? You know who. And then they also did a Damien based on his art. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it is. You know it. That's right. It was Frank Whiteley doing Dick Grayson as Batman and Damien as Robin. All right. Next up, we have Daredevil #1. A new Daredevil #1. Yep, sure thing. But it's really good. Stephanie Phillips does a really good job. Lee Garbett is on art, and it's a nice book. Liked it a lot. I will read the second issue. One thing about it, though, Stephanie Phillips has Daredevil narrating this book to me, and I don't like that. Don't like it. I don't know Matt Murdock. I don't know Daredevil, and he sure as hell don't know me. So stop talking to me. And there's going to be a whole bunch of covers, but I only got a few. Like this Daniel Warren Johnson one. And this blind bag one. Blind bag, get it? Daredevil, you get it? Anyway, I have a pretty healthy amount for what I thought this was going to be. But having read it and liked it, I'm going to be ordering more. So if you're on the fence, you should definitely pick it up. Poison Ivy 43. This is the second issue of Poison Ivy being mayor of Gotham. I don't. G. Willow Wilson's writing this. People like it. It's a strong seller in the store, but it's nothing really super special. But DC's got this new direction, and you know, if you're going to check it out, you should get this one. And I have plenty of the last one also. You can see how I feel about it. I said I got plenty of it. JSA #18. This is still part of the year one story. I'm one issue behind #17, and this issue #18. So I guess two now. This is really good. Jeff Lemire is writing. I don't care who's on art. It's been solid throughout. I never expect a lot from DC to put like the really stellar illustrators on a JSA title anyway. We just get lucky when there's somebody that the masses like. Next up, we have Bizarro Year None. This is written by Kevin Smith and Nick Pitara on artwork. That's cool. I like Bizarro and I like Superman, but I'm not necessarily a fan of all the Kevin Smith comic books out there. Truthfully, with the exception of Daredevil, and maybe that was like a one-trick pony through 10-ish. No, Green Arrow was solid. Those were the Kevin Smith books that I liked. The Batmans that he did, not so much. But the thing about this that's really good is that, oh, I didn't take a picture of it. I could have sworn I did. Hold on, let me see. I can't believe I led into that and I don't have it. I mean, I can believe it. The thing about this one that I want you to know about is that Frank Wiley does the variant cover. Yeah, so there you go. Bizarro Year None, Kevin Smith and folks. Wonder Man Year One, Jerry Duggan writes, I'm a low-key Jerry Duggan fan. I've enjoyed quite a bit of books that he did. Most recently, Avengers West Coast, which did have Wonder Man in it. Mark Buckingham, big fan of him right here. Yule. His Peter Parker Spider-Mans that he did with Paul Jenkins, another name we just heard. Really, really good. And highly recommend those too. Logan, Black, White, and Blood. This is a bunch of people getting together and telling stories about Logan with no color except for the color red. I mean, blood. Adventures of Superman, Book of L, number 7. This is the second part of the Philip Kennedy Johnson, Scott Godlewski book. I'm not reading it. Doctor Strange, number 5. I'm not reading it. It sells well, though. Nova. I'm not reading. Nova Centurion. I'm not reading it. Jed McKay writes it, and I have read quite a bit of Jed McKay books, but don't care. Also, this is the last issue. Captain Marvel Dark Past, written by Paul Jenkins and Lucas Wernick. Holy shit, Marvel's putting Lucas Wernick on a top book? I mean, a book that they're putting a top artist on a Captain Marvel book? And Paul Jenkins is writing it, and I've just praised him for his Sentry and his Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man books. Might want to take a look at this. Oh, April Fool's Day, everybody. Come on and get your Gail Simone written Deadpool comic book. I know you want to. Alien King Killer number 1. This is a miniseries written by Saladin Ahmed, and it's got a lot of aliens on the cover. All right. Mad About DC number 1. No refunds. Humor is subjective. And let me drop this banner for a second. It says, DC Comics proudly presents a very special issue of comic creators trying to lose their jobs. And then it's making fun of the new 52. And there's another one that said something about Jim Lee being late on the cover. Great stuff. This is making me think of Marvel. What the? I can't remember. What the? I'm looking forward to this book. It should be fun. Sacrificers number 20. I think this is the penultimate issue. I could be wrong. I kind of fell off. So I feel like I have the need to get caught up. The shame is that Max Fiamura, who was doing the art, isn't doing the art all the time. It is understood that he isn't doing it and being replaced by possibly an equally competent artist in Andre Lima Rojo. Not quite Max Fiamura, but really, really close. Nonetheless, to get this book out with the quality that it is, one of Rick Remender's better ones. Marvel Rivals, Duel of Kings. I buy these and then they're gone. I don't know what to say about that. Derek Kirk Kim and Jacob Perez do the Royals for Image Comics. I didn't get a lot of these, but there are Derek Kirk Kim fans in the store, so beware. The Eternals one-shot, the 50th anniversary. That is not Jeff Parker. That's the some other Parker and some other Sheridan too. And Ralph Macchio. Did I tell you that the Eternals? I think there's a new character in here, so speculators, don't let me down. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero #1. This is part of the silent missions. You see, they did a whole bunch of G.I. Joe silent missions to honor the 21st issue of G.I. Joe, which was where Snake Eyes went through whatever Destro's castle is, and it was all silent, no words. And so they did like a G.I. Joe where all the issues were Duke, and it was some other guy, and Roadblock, and some other person, and they were all quiet. And now we're going to get the Cobra version of that, and they're leading with the Baroness, which I think is a smart move. Ghost Machine, the official handbook. Everybody knows I love an official handbook. And this has Albert Einstein to the High Plains Zoo. And if you understand any of that, you must be reading Ghost Machine books. So come on in and get it. Absolute Superman #1 starts off the beginning of our cigarette comics. All right, very good. Next up, we have a new story. Jason Aaron, Rafa Sandoval. Batman #8 by Matt Fraction. This will not be Jorge Jimenez, but wow, what a fill-in. Ryan Sook, cannot wait. Good stuff on this book. One of my favorite books going on right now is this Batman book. And oh, look, we've got Alan Scott Green Lantern. Wood is the only thing that can get past him. You can write your own jokes. X-Men 28 by Jed McKay and Netho Diaz. The Danger Room storyline. Selling very well. Venom #6. Venom is not normally a cigarette book, but it's doing this whole death spiral thing through Spider-Man. So I'm putting it where Spider-Man goes so that you know that you need to get it. By the way, you need to get it. Death of a character. And not only that, some other crazy shit occurs too. Pretty good issue. Got to give it to Al Ewing. He's keeping my interest, at least for this story. Savage Sword of Conan I don't know, 14, I think, maybe 15. Each issue is a different team usually. And it looks like Roy Thomas and Roberto De La Torre. Oh, man, can't wait for this. And then lastly, almost last. Whoa, I didn't tell you this one. Okay, we got one more after the cigarette book and then one more. Oh, no, this is the one more. Comics the Magazine. I got it right here. If you lament the days where when there was an Image Comics, look no further. For a mere measly $3, $2.99 plus tax, you can get a new iteration of a book that will remind you of Wizard Magazine. They are talking about in this one interviews with Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley, and more because they're doing Battle Beast, and also featuring Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Why they're going to probably be talking about either Night Eaters or Monstrous. We just talked about that earlier in the show. A Decade of Headlopper, awesome. I love Andrew McLean. And then Blood Splatter, whatever the heck that is. So come on in and get this book, or else I won't be ordering it anymore. And then lastly, Grew the Wanderer, Grew the Prophecy by Sergio Aragonés and Mark Evanier, and also Stan Sakai lettering and whoever that colorist is. Sergio Aragonés will never die. I don't want to hear any mention of it ever happening or that you think it might happen. You're wrong. He will always put out a page in 15 minutes and always super detailed and always great. And I will never, ever believe otherwise. That's Sergio Aragonés's great one to leave off on. Let me, before I come back to you all, play this video right here. Don't forget, we also have a Substack that's free. You don't have to pay any money like this Patreon bit. You actually get something from Substack when we talk about anything, which will be soon because Free Comic Book Day is coming up May 2nd. It's also our birthday, so say happy 15th. Nothing more other than buying comics. And we're going to have a big trade sale that day. And I mean a big one. It's going to be like, I want to blow it out. You know what I mean? Blow it out. All right, so I'm preaching to the choir, huh, dummy? We were talking about paper. I bought What If Disney comics for some friends, turned them on to all ages comics. They didn't think there were any. There are. I love my ILCS. Wait, what's the I? Look at you, Battle Buddy, leaning next to that big old thing. Time to invest in one of those POG machines and start turning back issues into POGs. Illithilar? Oh, yeah. We could really... Remember POG tubes? Those were the bitch about POGs, though. Is POG tubes. Is they... Oh, I just got a short stack. This is where I put my... What were the ones you used to smack this shit down, right? Whatever the lead one was. The woods of the POG universe. Supergirl, dummy says, yeah. Kenneth Bird. Hi to everyone. Well, hello, Kenneth Bird. I like that dude. That's looking good. Jimmy Tran Man. Not gonna lie, I might want a Psylocke yoga mat. Jimmy Tran Man, I agree. Now the question is, are you talking Euro style or Asian style? Because really, I think we're calling her Quanon now, unless Betsy's around, and then maybe we're calling her. I don't know. 650 your change. Oh, hi, Yule. How's your father? Oh, hi. Get a stream deck. I don't know about that. Punk Comics Geek. We can use candles at night. We can use candles at night. And not only that, we have one of those flashlights. It's also like a radio. I mean, you have to really... It's good for working out, too. Not Your Mint says. Thanks for a great informative show. Well, thank you very much. I mean, what can I say? Comics are only as good as you can make them. Make them good. And enjoy them, because there's no reason to read comics that you don't enjoy. You know, there's no shame in dropping it. There's no shame in continuing it, hoping that it's going to get better. But, you know, just because someone isn't good on one thing doesn't mean they won't be good on another book. And you might want to give it a try, especially if you like the art. That's how comics are. You know, if it's got good art, I'm willing to suffer for a little bit. Lastly, April 1st is the anniversary of Ed Piskor taking his own life. Self-deleting, I think, is what the kids call it. The YouTubers. And we're not monetized, so I can say it. He was embroiled in some bad press, and all sorts of things were going on during that time to further cement home that he was a cad. And possibly he was. And I don't know how much or anything like that. And I'm not defending. I'm not blasting. I'm not profiting. I've already played a shit ton of videos where I can't get monetized, so it doesn't matter what I say about the situation. Other than this, he was very fucking talented, and I always wanted to see what he was going to have come out next. And that is a shame that we're not going to be able to see that. So I'm going to play this video as we go out like I did the first time. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. And yeah, man, take care of yourself and read some comic books.